10 Cats, Johnny Vegas, Alex Zane, Jeremy Clarkson, James McQuillan, Jamelia, Josie Long, Tom Felton, Richard E. Grant, Yvette Fielding, Kelly Osborne, and their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, Jack Whitehall, Ulrika Johnson, Alan Cummings, Lauren Laverne, David Walliams, Holly Walsh, Mark Watson, Claudia Winkleman, Reginald D. Hunter, Phil Spencer, and their team captain, Jason Manford. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of 8 out of 10 Cats, where we'll be showing you the best bits from this series, as well as some outtakes. You know the drill. It's a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, the largest recorded gathering of people was 15 million at a Hindu religious festival in India? It was such a success, the 14 million survivors are thinking about doing it again next year. 18% of men admit not noticing if a girl changes her hairstyle. I should explain to those men that a girl's hair is part of the blur above where her breasts are. A doner kebab pot noodle contains 22% of a recently divorced man's recommended calorie intake. A teaspoon contains 120 drops of water. That's according to research by Professor probably from the University of... yeah, I reckon. And if you're watching in Norfolk, hello. I'm not being patronising. I just thought I'd show you what a normal hand looks like. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. Let's have a look and see what we've been talking about over the last few months.
Is it Big Brother? It's the 10th series now, and I've always been a fan of Big Brother, but there's been a few points where I think even the voiceover bloke sounds like he's getting a bit bored. Yeah. So one day I just want to turn it on and go, "Dear whatever it is in a Big Brother house." Yeah. One of them has said something that's upset the other one, but the other ones don't care.
Here's the thing, Davina, brilliant. The house, brilliant.
Who's your favourite housemate?
Well, then the problem is,
problem.
then they fill the nice, lovely house with the cool sofa and the, oh, you can come over here and make a smoothie with twats.
Are you... Sorry. Shri is not a twat. No. Shri is amazing. He's obsessed by this girl. He's obsessed by Noreen. He's in the same house as her as he's obsessed by her, so it's come in really handy. It's a stalker's paradise.
Was he stalking her before the show? I mean, that's incredibly lucky. If you're stalking someone and you both end up in the Big Brother house.
You know Lisa, the lesbian lady?
Is she a lesbian?
Yeah,
the one with the Mohican?
Yeah.
And the big...
She'd be sat there like this. She'd go, don't get me wrong, you know, with that girl's allowed, you know what I mean? I'd maybe do them, but I wouldn't do the ginger one, but I'd do the rest. I thought, none of them are going to have sex with you, you dirty great Lesser. What are you talking about? You'd be lucky to have sex with the ginger one.
James, are you watching Big Brother?
I don't actually watch reality TV. I think it's crass, to be honest with you. I think when you see these people who just, you know, lower their standards to go on to try and... on the off chance... On the off chance...
The irony. Is he getting it?
I'm serious. On the off chance that they might get, you know, tapped up to go on some poxy Channel 4 show late at night on a Friday.
Probably got to be will Gordon Brown still be in a job in the next week or so? He's obviously got to be very worried. I'd be very worried if I had Hugh Edwards doing the news from outside my house. I think if you look outside your window and you see Hugh Edwards going, "Welcome to the 10 o'clock news," you've got to think, Christ, what have I done? There's a brilliant picture of him this week. Have you got a picture?
Oh, yeah, I've got the picture of him being held on the chin.
And it's very interesting because he's the Prime Minister. Someone's just reached out and... I mean, if that was Obama, they'd be mincemeat by now. He doesn't even stop him. I reckon you could walk up to Gordon Brown, pull his trousers open and pour custard down there. And after about a minute, the special services would go, "Actually, that's enough custard." He is the Prime Minister. He's coming out on his shoes, for Christ's sake. A bit of respect.
Jason, do you think Gordon Brown is doomed?
I think the Labour Party in general won't Well, they'll be here, but they won't be in power, I think. I mean, now all the MPs are in this rigmarole of... They're terrified, aren't they? And they're calling it expenses scandal. But let's call it what it is. It's theft, isn't it? That's what it is, theft. If we did it in our job, you know, I've taken a few of your suits home over the past few weeks. You know, I dressed my wife in them. And,
one good thing that comes out of this, if you're walking down the street and you see an MP with a Kit Kat, you're entitled to just go off and break off a bit. I paid for this. Yeah, this is for the finger in better with a pepper army because you can bend it over and then go too hot.
Are they actually taking anyone's personal money?
Yes, ours.
yeah,
What have the nation been talking about?
Have you been watching a bit of the Britain's Got Talent?
It's gotta be Britain's Got
Subo.
Subo, she's gone mad.
Turned up at some singing do,
Yes.
thrown some water, tried to snog a cock, shouted loads of abuse, and only now does it come to light that she's Scottish. Have these people never been on National Express? There's fucking loads of them. Moon River!
You shouldn't knock her, though, because also one of the things about... The reason Obama likes her so much is she's a very important weapon in the war against terror. Because young extremists are now thinking twice about blowing themselves up now they know what a virgin really looks like. They're going...
She's got some huge fans, though, because, and you'll appreciate this as a Twitterer, Jimmy. Demi Moore has been twittering her support all through this, saying how much she likes her. And I think that's because Demi Moore is smart. Because she's thinking, you know, when the looks go, I'll be able to play her in a movie.
They are actually doing a movie of her, though, aren't they? Of Susan Boyle's life. And
Yes, and I'm going to play her.
Madonna's been at it again. She's adopted another child, which is fantastic news for everybody.
If I could get adopted, I would get adopted by Billy Bragg. That's like my dream person to adopt me. If he's out there, just...
Do you have
I make
parents?
no trouble. Yeah, I've got parents. They're great.
Will they be watching this? Going, what, we haven't written enough protest songs? What do you want, love?
I would choose Adam Woodyatt.
Wow, people
He's
have
my
actually got this...
favourite celebrity. I interviewed him once. He's number one, smiley. Number two, charming.
This is Ian Beale we're talking about here.
Number three...
She wants Ian Beale to be her dad.
He just seems... He's very friendly.
They're slagging Madonna off in the paper, like, but she's going to make this child's life better. I mean, I'm from Manchester, and I'm doing all right for myself, but even she would make my life better, you know, so...
Yeah, if Madonna offered to adopt me, even at this point, I'd consider it.
I'd say so.
Yeah. She's probably got things like a jacuzzi.
Let's have a look and see whether Madonna adopting a baby is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, this is the story that Madonna has adopted a second Malawian child. Already, Madonna's visit has passed into Malawian legend, specifically the legend of the scrawny witch that swoops down from the skies and steals children. No offence to any witches that we have in the audience. If we had any witches, I apologise. Anyone had green hair? So, for example, that one there. Jason, Holly and David, what else have the nation been talking about?
Well, it's got to be the
European elections,
European
isn't it?
yeah.
Got to be the European elections, isn't it, Jimmy?
No, it's just the BNP going over there taking all their jobs. It's,
Yeah.
it's pretty simple.
I don't understand why the BNP even want to be, you know, in the European Parliament, because they're always going to be sat next to foreigners, aren't they, all the time? You know? Unless that might cure them. They go over there and go, actually, it's quite nice, and the people are really friendly. Oh, what's that? Oh, croissant. I'm no longer a racist.
Someone threw an egg at him, didn't they?
Was it a British hen that laid the egg, do we know?
It was a brown egg that was thrown, and that's what hurt.
Somebody once threw an egg at me.
Someone once threw an egg at you?
Why did they do it? Is it because you're a
Can we all play together? No. What else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it Gordon Ramsay's been making friends in Australia? Well, he was actually been told off by the Australian Prime Minister, wasn't he? He was called the lowest form of life. because he called a TV presenter a pig. He said she was a pig-faced woman. And I thought it's quite ironic, him calling someone a pig when his face looks like crackling. Burnt crackling. How can he go around delivering, insults about how people look? He makes Ronnie Wood look like Hannah Montana, doesn't he? When he shuts his eyes, it's like someone's put a chef's hat on a walnut.
OK, right. Sean, Kelly, Reg, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Sperm.
Sperm?
Yeah.
What have they been saying about sperm?
That they can genetically make sperm in a test tube now. I don't see the point in it, really, because we were saying that before, there's not exactly a lack of it out there.
Well, maybe in your world, young lady.
Basically, they've cloned a human sperm, haven't they? But all they've got to do now is get it down to scale, because currently it's quite big. It's like a live turbot.
It's been hot. There was a garden expert who said it's going to be the end of the English country garden. And I thought, that's sad, that, because I always enjoyed pulling down my pants and suffocating the ants all those times. It's good fun.
What?
Yeah.
Say that again?
Good times. Pulling down your pants, suffocating the ants. You never do that? Pick up a leaf, wipe it underneath. You never did that, Phil? Squeeze out a log, blame it on the dog. You never did this, Phil?
Fingers on buzzers. One more thing to get.
Oh. Wimbledon. Wimbledon, Jimmy.
Go on, tell me more about Wimbledon.
Wimbledon is a time when people play tennis together.
Correct.
I like the grunting, though. That's where they earn their money, don't they? Yeah. The grunting, which they're trying to ban.
How can you ban grunting?
Shoot them. A blind bloke who normally hunts pigs, like that, sitting there, and he hears a...
To be honest with you, I think that's a ratings winner.
It is weird when you listen it when, like, I was watching a match the other day, and I had it on Sky Plus, so I was watching it about 1 o'clock in the morning. My wife was upstairs, and she could hear grunting coming from the telly. It's like, what are you watching? I was like, just the ladies playing tennis, that's all. Like, you know what I mean? So why is there a bass guitar making some music? I don't know.
Was the lady playing tennis going, oh, yeah, big boy. Oh,
Jason, Lauren and Alan, what other movies are people excited about seeing?
Terminator? Yeah. Terminator salivation or something.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
It's all been a bit hyped up because Christian Bale had that big tantrum as well. That got leaked. That was amazing.
Yeah. You've acted with him, Richard?
I have, but 15 years ago on a film called Portrait of a Lady. He was very quiet and reserved, and it was on a movie when Nicole Kidman still had no lips.
So back in the olden days?
In the olden days, yeah. Before...
Did you think, as an actor, you think you get stressed, it's a hard day, and you've...
Yeah, I think anybody gets stressed. Yeah. I'm sure that if we had to hear what was going on when Gordon Brown got all that stuff in the Daily Telegraph on a daily basis. Can you imagine waking up to those reviews every day? You wouldn't be able to leave the door.
Reviews. You're such a lovely.
Another 3-star, Alistair. Another 3 stars.
What a film are people excited about seeing?
He had his hands over there. He had his hands over there where he's impressed. And I just went, bang! Bang! It was like a scene from Transformers. I was like, Transformers! Yeah! Answer the question.
Is it Star Trek?
He's done you! No. He's done you, Sean! He's done you! He's done you, mate! He's done me! Star Trek.
Have you heard Michael Jackson is dead?
Yes. I heard.
People have been talking about it because he's a controversial figure. I mean, if it's wrong to share your bed with 13-year-old boys, then lock me up and throw away the key.
It's coming out that his prescription drug use, that he used a lot of prescription drugs, 30 million pounds a year he spent on prescription drugs, Xanax, Zantac. What a lot of people don't realize is that Michael Jackson actually died 2 years ago, but he kept taking them drugs and we didn't know.
They did. They found Xanax, Vicodin and Demerol in his house. I want to know what Geldof's kids were doing there in the first place. Welcome back to the best of 8 out of 10 cats. Here's our pick of the polls. Sean, Josie and Jamelia, what do you like the look of?
Birmingham's got to be. And it better not be anything bad.
No, it's nothing bad about Birmingham.
Well, what's going to happen if it is? What are you going to do?
I'm going to
You're
beat
gonna
him
attack
up.
him?
Yeah, I'm going to attack him.
Let's pick Birmingham. Hope it's bad.
Birmingham is a shithole. Why? No, it's not that. You've chosen Birmingham. OK. 25% of people from the Midlands have used what to seduce someone?
In Birmingham, everyone, like, smiles at each other and they say hello, even if you don't know each other. But then when I first came to London, I did that and they were kind of, like, looking at me like I was a weirdo.
I had the same thing, Jamelia, actually, coming down from the north. I remember getting to Euston and there was a fella reading, I think it was Da Vinci Code at the time. It was before it, you know, kicked off into the big success. And I sort of wandered over and I said, oh, is it any good, that? I've been fancying read it. He looked at me like I went, hey, mate, can I have a little tickle of your bollocks? Is that...
About the book. I'll give you a clue. It's something that I would associate with doing with your family.
Oh, Pictionary.
I'll give you that.
Ooh.
I'll give you that.
What?
No, I'll give you that. 25% of people from the Midlands have used a board game to seduce someone.
That's amazing.
Other successful seduction techniques in the West Midlands include wearing trousers, having a van with its own mattress, and not having sick down your shirt.
Are you married, Phil?
Yes, I am.
Do you remember in Heat magazine when you did an interview and the question was, have you ever been chatted up by another celeb?
Yes.
And do you know what your answer was?
Yes, very well.
What was it?
You.
When did I chat you up?
No, I was bidding for a dress.
Yes.
There was a dress that I thought my wife would look very beautiful in. Well, I heard this voice in my ear. Go on, Phil, you look really lovely in that. And I turned around laughing, spotted you, and there was a look in your eye. I thought, actually, he wasn't joking, was he?
Did you feel my erection as well?
How many people here have injured themselves drinking?
Yeah, loads.
What have you ever injured yourself with drinking?
Fallen down, I got my jaw broken.
By who?
By the bloke who ran the pub.
Technically not a drinking injury, that's more a violence-related thing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have been there if I had been drinking. You know? I wouldn't have been singing that song.
Most Brits have a hobby they're too embarrassed to tell their friends about.
What are you doing?
I think Sean's just... I think he's...
Oh, it's my hobby. Electronics. No, our telly's gone down, so I thought I'd fix it. It has actually gone down. That's my hobby. Having a bit
I
of
don't
fun.
actually think it's broken. It just says signal over rain.
Well, it's black. The screen's completely black. I don't know what you expect from your television. I don't expect to see a picture. If you go, there's just, you know there's some electricity in it somewhere. That's not enough for me.
Kelly, if you had a real job, this is just a scenario, it's not going to happen,
real
no one's going to
job?
make you do a real job, what would you like to do?
Oh, is this a real job to you?
Yes, it is. Bringing joy to the nation.
Jimmy, I'm not forgetting scaring any children who are watching.
Get to bed, I'm coming to get you. Most Brits think there's no point trying to speak a foreign language while on holiday. Is that true or false? We've been on holiday together, haven't we, David?
Oh, yeah.
I've got a photo. Do you remember this?
I wanted to find the ugliest lady boy.
And there he is on the right.
I went with my friend Robin.
Yeah, I remember Robin,
who is gay. My friend Robin is gay. I've got a gay friend. What of it?
That was a huge shock to all of us.
No, but we went to some straight sex shows, and he said, well, we've been to lots of straight ones. Can't we now go to a gay sex show? I went, oh, all right, then. And he took me to this show, and these men... Can I borrow you for a second? No. Phil, can I borrow you for a second? Phil, can I borrow you? No, because these men... This was all right, Phil. It's all right. These men got on the stage, and they started... Phil, just bend over a little bit. So they went round to people's laps. Go, lean over, Phil. And they started bombing. Lean over, Phil. They started bombing people. Look at that. I was shocked.
There's nothing you can do.
I was shocked and horrified, and I only stayed an hour.
And the winner is the name of our final round. Fingers on buzzers for more of our best bits. Worst film to see on a first date? Ow! Sorry. Tom, have you taken ladies to the cinema? What do you take them to?
Not so much to the cinema, but to films at home on the couch, but DVD, that sort of thing.
Did you ever show them Harry Potter? Like, with you in it? Is that like a first date, like a... Yeah.
That would probably be my worst film to see on a
that?
first date, yeah.
Yeah. Just watch yourself, love, because I can turn. Is the worst film on a first date Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
And then halfway through just keep whispering, that's not how you make a dress out of skin.
Top household convenience drivers would like in their car.
How about replacing the electric windows with sash windows?
And having a window box on the bonnet.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Lots of
Little
nice
flowers,
flowers.
yeah, grow your own.
Yeah. Some curtains.
Oh,
People
yeah,
can't see.
curtains, yeah,
People
no,
can't look
yeah.
in as they're going past. They can't look in on
It'd
you.
be good for when you're dogging.
Yeah.
What about a...
I've always thought that would be the best Top Gear challenge, if you three went dogging.
We have quite a lot. James is really good at it.
Worst thing about nightclubs?
Slags.
No, it's worst thing.
No, there's never enough of them.
Never enough slags?
Slags.
I don't know what you lot are complaining about. You'd never get laid if there wasn't slags.
Good point, well made. Most hated chore?
Is it getting rid of soiled bedding?
Getting rid of what?
You know, like, soiled bedding.
Oh.
When it's not your house.
Oh, I'll just be with you in 1 second. Best way to get the attention of someone you fancy?
Is it become a guest panellist on a quiz show and then pretend to have anal sex with...
Women's dream way to be proposed to?
Is it outside Yates's? and you're holding her hair as she's having a little bit of a sick. Again, there's some places in Manchester where if you did that, you'd be quite the David Niven.
I didn't take any risks when I proposed. I put a note up the cat's arse. And when it went into the kitchen, I thought she'd go, what's that in the cat's arse? Will you marry? It's a bit smudged here.
I like the way that my husband proposed to me. Like, he proposed in front of people. I honestly think I probably would have said no if it was just like me and him. I'm going to actually try and answer the question. I'm just thinking, like, girly girls, probably, like, on bended knee at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
I'll give you that for the Paris, because women's dream way to be proposed to is actually on a romantic holiday. I thought it would be romantic to take my girlfriend back to where we first met, but she said, "Don't make me go back there, Mr. Jimmy. I cook, I clean, I'll be better." Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the show and the end of the series. So thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audiences, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
on 8 out of 10 Cats Best of British Special. From Northern Ireland, Patrick Keelty. From Scotland, Kevin Bridges. And their team captain, John Locke. And facing them tonight, from England, Shappy Corsandi. From Wales, Ron Gilbert. And their team captain, Jason Manford. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats Best of British Special, a show all about the British. Did you know, for example, American research has suggested that all Englishmen are oppressed and uptight? When I read that, I was angry and upset, but I managed to hide it. There is a stereotype that suggests the most common crime in Wales is sheep shagging. Not the case. It's actually ram raiding. Newcastle is the only major city in the UK without a red light district, and I'll tell you why. No need. And if you're watching in Norfolk, hello. I'm not being patronising. I just thought I'd show you what a normal hand looks like. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the nation who they think is the greatest living Briton. It's our panellists' job to guess the public's top 5 greatest Britons. Sean, Patrick, Kevin, you're to go first. Who's the greatest living Briton?
Susan Boyle.
People give Susan Boyle a hard time, but I think she's a good-looking fella.
I think she is.
They're doing a film of her life as well.
Are they?
Yeah, and I thought, how interesting is that? The first 40 years is just her feeding cats.
I think she'd be a perfect replacement for Michael Jackson at the O2. No, honestly, because now that, you know, Michael Jackson's cancelled, they've renamed the O2...
Cancelled? He died.
No.
He didn't phone up just for a sec.
By the way, I'm just about to die. I don't think I can do the show.
I can tell you, Susan Boyle, the public didn't vote for her.
No, but...
Have another guess.
Tim Berners-Lee, the guy who created the internet.
If you invented the internet, it must be rubbish. There's no websites are out. Well, there's nothing to do on it. It's not even got cinema listings.
There's nothing to do on the website.
Not when you're the first person. It's like the bloke who invented the phone for the first time. Like, you know, Alexander Graham Bell. Who did he ring? How did he know it worked?
Surely, if you invent something, you can always invent another one to go with it.
What, invented 2?
I think he invented 2 phones at the same go.
Yeah.
So Jason...
Hello, it's me! I know!
So engaged, you idiot.
I can tell you, Tim Berners-Lee not voted in the top 50 Britons.
Oh. On the computer theme, I just found out Stephen Hawking is British. I never knew that until last week. I could never place the accent, I suppose.
I read that he went to Stringfellows. He likes Stringfellows.
In 2003, Hawking reportedly visited Stringfellows.
That must be weird if you're in the booth next to him. And in the next one, you can just hear, play with your boobies. Your eyes are like the cosmos.
I think he's the perfect bloke to go for a pint with, though. WKD for me and a WD-40 for him. It's perfect.
Do you know what I would really like to see him on? I'd really like to see him on Mastermind, because he's so bright.
Mastermind? Have you not seen Robot Wars? He'd kill on that. No! Well, let's have a look and see whether Stephen Hawking is up there.
There he is.
Yes! Stephen Hawking was voted the greatest living Briton by the British public. Hawking's A Brief History of Time is a hugely successful book. Over 200 million people in 100 different countries have now read the first 2 pages. Perhaps his 2 most famous quotes are, "The total energy of the universe is exactly 0," and, "Warning, vehicle reversing." Right, other great living Britons, Jason's team.
It's got to be somebody else who is revered, like David Beckham, for example. Because he's one of those people who I always put together with Stephen Hawking. I always think... because everyone has... Look, you're giggling already because he's like... Everyone goes, oh, he's stupid, isn't he, David Beckham? You're like, well, that's not what he's famous for. He's famous for being brilliant at football. Nobody goes, oh, Stephen Hawking, he might be clever, but I'd piss on him in a race. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah, I don't think Stephen Hawking would sell as many underpants as David Beckham, would he? And the other thing about David Beckham is he always advertises foreign stuff, doesn't he? He always advertises, like, police sunglasses, Dolce & Gabbana. Why doesn't he do, like, Aunt Bessie's Yorkshire puddings?
These are lovely.
It's a bit like my Michael Jackson voice.
These are Yorkshire
bush puddings, you just take them out of the freezer and...
Shamon!
Yeah. Yeah.
I like seeing proper fat blokes with Beckham on the back of their England shirt. And then I like to run after him down the street going, David! David! David, can I get you? David, can I get you? Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, I thought you were the real one.
He used to be a lovely-looking chap, but he's got too many tattoos, doesn't he? He's going to need a contents page if he carries on like this. Presumably, they're all to remind him of the things he's not supposed to forget. He's got his son's names somewhere on his back or something. He's got Forever by My Side on his arm. It's presumably to remind him where to keep that.
Oh, well, I can tell you, David Beckham is not in the top 5. Great goodness. Yeah.
There you go.
Beckham recently branded a journalist a saddo. What kind of wally says saddo? Div. When he resigned as England captain, Beckham broke down in tears as he realised he'd have to spend more time with her. Another guest from Seanstein.
Jamie Oliver, is he there? Because he's good work for the schools. See, I feel sorry because when I went to school in Glasgow, the highlight of the day was eating junk food at lunchtime. And I was always the kind of fat guy that would bring in a note to PE, like, please excuse Kevin from volleyball, he's fucked off the Gregs. So... what I'm saying is the guy's effort is pretty commendable, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, no, I think so.
I got really upset with those, as a mother, with those mums that went and fed fish and chips to their kids through the school gate. In sort of, what's the word? Rebellion.
Photo opportunity?
Because it was like, well, my kid's going to die of obesity. By the time he's 14, that'll learn that, Jamie Oliver.
But it is weird, because I've read people were saying, oh, he's only doing it to become famous. Like, if that's a byproduct of doing something nice and good, then so be it, you know what I mean? If the bloke who invents the cure for cancer wants to name the cure after himself, no one's going to go, big-headed prick. You know what I
mean? Mumps. Do you know who discovered the mumps?
No.
Who?
Have a guess.
Dr. Mumps?
No. It was actually discovered by Dr. Gonorrhea. But he was saving his name for something a bit more serious. I can't waste my name on a little red lump. Something that rots the cock.
I can tell you, Jamie Oliver is not in the top 5. Ooh. Over the years, Jamie has helped popularise certain phrases, like pucker, lovely jubbly, and is there anything else on? Another guess, greatest living Briton.
Is Thatcher on there? Thatcher, milk snatcher. Which I think she got off remarkably lightly for. It's like having a go at Hitler for making the moustache a little less fashionable, isn't it? It's like saying, Hitler, now we can't have moustaches that are littler, that is. But I bet she's on there, that odious old toad.
I remember when I was a kid, we weren't allowed that soft, whippy ice cream because she invented it, apparently.
Margaret Thatcher invented...
You got the same Margaret Thatcher?
I'm telling you, her and Dr. Whippy, they got together and she invented soft, whippy ice cream. She was part of the team that discovered that.
Was this before she was Foreign Secretary?
That is real. That is real. Have a look. Google it when you get home. That woman's not in. That woman's not in, and she's not mental.
Same thing happened in our house. At Christmas, we weren't allowed tinsel because Robert Mugabe invented tinsel.
It's true. But she was voted in 3 times, so a lot of people back in the day must have liked her.
People say that, oh, she had to do what she did, and that's why you got to admire her for that, because she had to do what she did. A dog's colon has to extract water from its faeces before it pushes it out through its anus, but I'm not going to buy a commemorative plate for that, either. Something you have to do. You don't have to admire her.
Let's have a look and see whether Margaret Thatcher was voted one of the greatest living Britons.
She's bound to be. She's bound to be.
Surely not. No!
Incredibly, yes, the British public voted Thatcher the 4th greatest living Briton. Thatcher recently broke her arm in what doctors describe as a good start. Thatcher says she doesn't want her funeral to be a morbid affair, she wants it to be a celebration. Well, you won't be disappointed, love. It'll be like Mardi Gras, there'll be a conga. Another guess, greatest living Briton. What do you think, Shappy?
Well, the Queen must be up there, surely.
If she doesn't win this poll, then this show is guilty of treason, isn't it?
Yeah. The royal family apparently cost Britain 69 pence per person per year. Surely we could get somebody to do it a bit cheaper. Outsource, get some cowboy people in.
Get a call centre in India to do it.
She's pretty cool as well for her age. Like, Barack Obama gave her an iPod.
He gave her this lovely present, this really well thought out, like an iPod with loads of pictures of when she'd visited America and some music from Broadway musicals and stuff. And she gave him a picture of her and Philip. I've been in that situation where someone's come round with a gift and you've not got them out. You know, they give you something nice, you go, oh, well, I got you this remote control for our telly.
Well, let's have a look and see whether the Queen was voted one of the 5 greatest living Britons. She's in at number 2. Yes, the Queen was voted the 2nd greatest living Briton. The Queen is 80 years old, but she looks remarkably well for the most privileged woman in human history. Fingers on buzzers.
Cowell, we haven't said Cowell properly, have we?
Simon Cowell in The Greatest Britain.
Yeah.
He was voted 33 in the worst Britons, and his first 20 were serial killers.
Times have changed. You know, Britain's Got Talent is supposed to show us that any talentless dick can make it big, and he's an ambassador for that, isn't he?
Well, let's have a look and see whether Simon Cowell is one of the greatest living Britons.
No way. God, he is.
Yeah. Simon Cowell was voted the 5th greatest living Briton. Through his television work, Cowell has amassed a £200 million fortune. Throw in the profits from Leon Jackson's album, and he's never short of change either. Simon Cowell spends £500,000 every year on his own personal security. £500,000 on personal security. That is an incredible amount of money. Has Simon not considered being less of a We've got one more person to get. Fingers on buzzers. Oh, go on.
I'm going to go for the guy Banksy. Do you know the graffiti artist?
It can't be Banksy, though, can it? Because he's not British. Because Banksy, everyone knows, is Rolf Harris. It's Rolf having a bit of fun.
He shouldn't be on it, because going around painting stuff on walls, some of the stuff he's done some really cruel, practical jokes. So, like on the West Bank, painting a ladder up the wall, he's taking the piss, isn't he? That's like when Terry Waite was handcuffed to a radiator, sneaking in the night and painting a little key just out of his reach.
I can tell you that Banksy was not in the top 5, but he was on the longer list. I personally prefer art that makes you think. Would a Labrador really try and bluff a Spaniel with a pair of 3s? OK, last person to get. I'll give you a clue, it's an author.
J.K. Rowling.
I always find it amazing with Harry Potter books that they're sort of acceptable for adults to read on, you know, on the train or whatever. And I think, except when I do a bit of colouring, you know what I mean, a bit of colouring, people look at me like I'm mental.
Don't laugh, he doesn't go over the lines. He's very good.
My nephew's only 7. He came up to me and he goes, "Shappy, can we play Harry Potter?" And I said, "Of course we can, my darling." And I locked him in the cupboard under the stairs.
Didn't you say Dumbledore was gay?
Yeah.
I've seen the films and stuff, and you wouldn't, you know, you don't know he's gay. He's not like he's mincing through the corridors like, "Oh, Harry, look at your massive wand. Oh, seriously. I'm going to go and order the next series of Queer as Folk off Amazon. See you later." Like...
Well, I think it's impressive that she had the idea for Harry Potter on the train from Manchester to London. Now I've been on that train, and I took one look around the carriage, and the only idea I had was to get off at Preston and lie on the platform and punch myself to a pulp.
All this stuff about she was really poor and she had to write it on a napkin on a train, or she wrote stuff on a sick bag on a flight. So she can't afford paper. She can afford a bloody flight and a train, though, can't she? Oh, she's so poor, she had to write it on the back of her receipt for ski hire in St. Moritz.
Well, I can tell you you're absolutely right. J.K. Rowling is up there.
Yay.
Well done. Yes, J.K. Rowling was voted the 3rd greatest living Briton. J.K. Rowling lives in Edinburgh with her husband, Dr. Neil Lucky. So that is our top 5 greatest living Britons. Of course, many great Britons are sadly deceased. Shakespeare wrote 38 plays, 154 sonnets and 2 long narrative poems. But can he do this? Lord Horatio Nelson only had 1 eye and 1 arm, hence the phrase, half Nelson. And Isambard Kingdom Brunel was the first man to lay a cable right the way across the Atlantic. Airline food is terrible, isn't it? So at the end of that round, I can tell you, Sean, Patrick and Kevin have 1 point. Jason, Rod and Chappie are in the lead with 4 points. Hello and welcome back to our Best of British special. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. Sean, Patrick and Kevin, what do you like the look of?
Is that a fence? Let's go with the fence.
OK, you've chosen the country gate. Here's a clip to illustrate the question.
Every year, thousands of new singles are released in this country, and even the professional pop pundits find it difficult to predict just which is going to be the big chartbuster of them all. But what about this? It's all about aliens from another planet who find the ideal place to settle here on Earth.
Silently, they came to ground, left their ship and went to town, for they knew there was energy in Northampton. Aliens from outer space, needing help from the human race. They found the answer at Northampton. Northampton, Northampton, Northampton.
The weirdest thing about that is they put the words on the bottom in case you want to join in at home.
Your question is, what does the nation prefer, town or country?
Well, it's normally during, like, debates on the hunting ban that your allegiance really sort of shows itself, whether you're town or country.
See, I'm a big animal lover, so I'm going to go for town.
When you say I'm a big animal lover in that voice, I feel like I've gone to prison.
I'm actually from a small village. I'm from a small village in Ireland, but I live in Chelsea now, and it's quite tricky when, you know, you're from the country and then you turn up in the town, because the town's quite, you know, it's quite unfriendly. You know, you talk to people, like, well, I went to introduce myself to my neighbours in Chelsea and they thought I was giving them a quote for tarmacking.
Like if you're in the countryside and you ask someone directions and you kind of are pretty sure about where you're going, but you think you just check. And it's a quick, is it up here then? And they should just go, yeah. But they don't, they stand for ages. And sometimes they walk you to where you want to go.
They get in the car.
They get in your
that
car.
as well.
And
I'll get in, I'll show you. You're like, no.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck off, don't touch me.
Mentalist. This is a smart car. We'll be touching.
Sean, what do you think, town or country?
I like the country.
Okay, Jason, what are you going for?
Town. Country, we'll go country.
You'll go country. Sean, you're going?
Go for country.
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 OK, you're going with the country. I can tell you 65% of people say they prefer the country.
There you go.
The countryside is great, unless you want to buy anything, go anywhere, do anything, or see anyone. Jason's team, what do you like the look of?
Ooh, is it London? Let's
You going to go for London?
Yeah, we're in London. It seems rude not to.
OK. You've chosen London. 66% of Londoners think their city is a good place to what?
Leave.
Is it a good place to visit Trafalgar Square?
Is it to sunbathe on a tiny bit of grass near a road? I always see that. Just people going, that's grass, that'll do.
You do see some people, you kind of go, that is a roundabout. There's no two ways about that.
Is it to find a cab driver who will only give you a lift if you live near him? I found that sometimes.
They've not got the idea of it.
It's like the only place in the world that you go, all right, mate, I'm just going to Kentish Town. They go, sorry, mate, I live out west. So you're only giving lifts to people on your street?
They have changed, though. Now that there's a recession, they sort of, even if you don't hail a cab, they sort of stop and drive really slowly past you going, lift, want to come in? Hey, lady.
You sure that's cab driving?
Is it a good place to have a night out? Because that's what you think as an outsider. You come to London, it's going to be quite exciting, the nightlife, the scene. And then, like, 2 in the morning, it's just the same as any other city in the UK. I was in a McDonald's in South London.
Oh, you've lived a life.
Party time. It's a Scottish name, McDonald, you know, eat your home cuisine. So I was in... And there was a guy in the queue at 2 in the morning, early, and he was having a lie down on the floor, right, 2 in the morning, in what I would deem to be the queue, right? And from what I could gather, the guy had pissed his pants. He had shat himself, and he was in the process of being sick, right? The guy was having a tough time. You know, it was as if his insides got to that stage in the night when they went, right, that's it, we'll call it a day there, lads, you know. Find an orifice, we're leaving. And I thought, this is the London experience here in this. Is that a good place for a night out?
It's not a good place for a night out, but you paint a wonderful picture there. So 66% of Londoners think their city is a good place to what?
Meet the other 34%.
You're sort of on the right lines.
Yeah.
It's to do with meeting someone special.
A good place to fall in love.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Get
Good.
out.
66% of Londoners think their city is a good place to find love. The last relationship I had, I ruined by blurting out "I love you" too early, which gave away the fact I was hiding behind the curtains. So at the end of that round, it is 2 points to Sean's team and 6 points to Jason's team. Way out in front. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Most desirable place to live in the UK.
Country.
Cown. I'd like to live next to a landfill site, right? Because when you finish your dinner, you can just go to your back garden and just scrape it over the fence into the landfill.
Is it Alton Towers?
That's a good
How good would
answer.
that be? Just before all the queues got there, you could go on Rita as many times. Well, that's the ride, isn't it? But, you know, all the...
I'm going to say, and this isn't because I do the adverts on television, I'm entirely impartial, but I'm going to say Wales.
No. No, it isn't.
Northampton, middle of England.
I think it's either Cheddar, Wensleydale, or Stilton. But not Leicester, don't like that. No flavour.
Is it Cornwall?
Cornwall.
Cornwall is the right answer. They got it first. Yes, the most desirable place to live in the UK is Cornwall. Getting to Cornwall is easy. Straight down the M4, then the M5, then it's the A roads, then bam! 6 hours later, you're nearly there. Characteristic that most defines Brits.
Binge drinking. And also go into other people's countries and thinking that they quite like us binge drinking there. And then, while we binge drink in other people's countries, mistaking people not being able to understand English for them being deaf and stupid.
I try to communicate through patio furniture. I just throw patio furniture across piazzas. And I hope that it lands in a way that suggests chicken salad.
Yeah, we drink for everything in this country. We drink to celebrate, we wet a baby's head, we toast friendships, we warm a flat.
Just bought a new spanner.
Hey! Oh, no, it just occurred to me that we haven't mentioned tea.
It's got to be tea, yeah?
It's got to be tea. Oh, who was it that said they like tea more than sex?
Boy George famously
Boy George.
said, "I prefer tea to sex."
I prefer tea to sex. Yeah, well, if you're invited back to his house, so would I.
Is it negativity? We're very negative people, British people.
No.
We are very negative. Is it the, if British people landed on the moon, we wouldn't have put a flag up. We put a little sign up saying, "Caution, uneven surface." In China, they have fortune cookies. The equivalent in this country with a pie with a gas bill in it.
Is it building people up and then knocking them down? Susan Boyle went from being, you know, a sort of nondescript old woman to the greatest singer in the world and back again in the space of a week, and everybody was saying, oh, she's forgotten her roots and having a go at her, and just because she'd had a few wheelbarrow loads of hair removed from her head. And, you know, we clipped our dog's eyebrows the other week. It doesn't make him Elton John.
It's the most British thing. It's the thing that we talk about most.
Weather.
The weather.
Correct. Yes, the characteristic that most defines Brits is an obsession with the weather. Whenever we have a heat wave, old people are told to stay indoors, and that's because they don't look good in bikinis. This July, the pavements in London were hot enough to fry an egg on. Yeah, I'll have mine, dog shit side up. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Patrick and Kevin have 3 points. Jason, Shappy and Rod are the winners with 7 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.